LeBron James just betrayed Los Angeles. The Celtics handed their biggest rival a superstar, and the NBA as we know it is officially dead. Let's get one thing straight. The Philadelphia 76ers just pulled off one of the most disrespectful offseason moves in modern basketball history, and nobody is actually talking about how insane this really is. First, they orchestrated a Jaylen Brown-sized rabbit out the hat, snatching the Celtics alpha, their franchise cornerstone, right out from under them. Boston traded their guy to the biggest rival. Let that sink in. And if that wasn't enough to make the entire Eastern Conference forfeit the season, LeBron James decides his last decision, his words, not mine, is to join an already loaded Philly squad. On a 2-year, $8 million, the all-time leading scorer in NBA history took a pay cut that would make a G League player blush just to guarantee himself one final ring. And in the process, he completely nuked the competitive balance in the league. This isn't a super team. This is Monopoly. This is a hostile takeover. And while Philly is popping the champagne, the rest of the league is scrambling to survive a post-apron world where loyalty means absolutely nothing. But here's the thing, and I need for you to stay with me on this one. The 76ers might not even be the craziest story of this offseason, because what the Lakers just did to Luka might even be worse. Which brings us to this absolute disaster class happening in Los Angeles. LeBron walks for nothing. He leaves Luka stranded on an island with no life raft. So what does the Lakers front office do? They panic. They mortgage their entire future. 2 unprotected first-round draft picks in 2031 and 2033, plus 2 first-round swaps for Walker Kessler, a guy who played 5 games last season before a torn labrum shutting down. 5 games. And they handed him a 4-year deal, a $130 million contract. Now look, Kessler has upside. He is an elite rim protector when healthy, but when healthy, is doing a lot of heavy lifting for a guy who missed 48% of his team's games over the last 3 seasons. But wait, it gets worse. They surround Luka with Quentin Grimes, a streaky one-way guard getting $60 million. Sandro M, cause I can't say your name, bruh, and Colin Sexton, congratulations LA. You just built the most expensive one-way team in NBA history. You have 0 perimeter defense, 0 tradable first-round picks for the next 7 years. You're hard capped at the first apron, and Luka, he is going to be scoring 40 a night just to lose by 15 because Walker Kessler is the only person on this roster who can guard a traffic cone. This is a complete betrayal of generational talent. And the worst part, they let Rudy Hachimura, a 44% free throw shooter, walk to the Clippers for less money than they gave Grimes. Make it make sense, LA. Now, let's talk about the complete opposite end of the spectrum, because while the Lakers are burning the house down, the Wizards are throwing money at washed veterans. The San Antonio Spurs just committed highway robbery in broad daylight. Victor Wembanyama, the soon-to-be MVP, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, the literal alien who just led the Spurs to the NBA Finals in his second postseason, agreed to a 5-year, $252 million extension. But here's the catch that makes this absolutely insane. He took the 25% max instead of the 30% max he was eligible for. Victor left $51 million on the table. $51 million just to help the Spurs to continue to build a dynasty around him in a league where role players are demanding supermax money and guys like Trae Young are getting $212 million to play 0 defense. You have the best player alive taking a discount because he cares about winning more than his bank account. The Spurs will be paying perennial MVP and Defensive Player of the Year favorite less than what the Pistons are paying Cade Cunningham, less than the Cavs are paying Evan Mobley. It's an absolute steal, and it guarantees that the Spurs are going to be absolutely terrifying force for the next decade. They've already added Tobias Harris. They have Keldon Johnson winning 6th Man of the Year. This team is built to dominate. Then, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we got the Washington Wizards. What are they even doing? Somebody needs to stage an intervention, because this franchise is the definition of purgatory inventory. They grossly overpaid Trae Young, giving him a 4-year deal worth $212 million, anchored for a guy who doesn't play a click of defense, anchored for a guy who doesn't play a lick of defense, and has never won anything meaningful. They refused to trade Anthony Davis, keeping him trapped in a rebuild that has zero direction. They trade for a 34-year-old Chris Middleton coming off the worst and least efficient season of his career. They gave up capital for a washed-up veteran when they should have been building around AJ Devonta and their young core. The Wizards, they have no identity, no direction, and no hope. And while we're talking about bad contracts, let's not forget about the Milwaukee Bucks, giving Gary Trent Jr. a one-way bench guard coming off his worst season in 7 years. A guaranteed 4 years, $64 million deal. $16 million for a guy who lost his starting spot on a 50-loss team. What in the are the Bucks thinking? In a post-apron world, these contracts are death sentences. The most disgusting move of the offseason might belong to last year's defending champions. The Oklahoma City Thunder won the title last year and immediately decided that saving money was more important than building a dynasty. They gutted their depth. They dumped Lou Dort, a starting caliber defender. They shipped Isaiah Joe, who shot 42% from 3. They moved on from Aaron Wiggins, all to trim their expenditures by $317 million. $317 million. They prioritized spreadsheets over banners. Sure, they still have Shea, Chet, and Jalen, Williams, and Caruso, but they sent a clear message to the locker room. Loyalty is dead, and the luxury tax is the only thing that this front office cares about. To me, it's a cowardly move from a championship caliber team. So where does this leave us? The 76ers built an unstoppable juggernaut. The Spurs secured the future of basketball. The Lakers, they doomed Luka Doncic. The Wizards are a dumpster fire. And the Thunder, they chose money over greatness. The balance of power in the NBA is gone. Let me know in the comments, did LeBron ruin the league again, or are the Sixers going to choke when it matters most? Smash that like button and subscribe if you want the real, unfiltered truth about this league. I'll see you on the next one. Holla at your boy. Peace. I'm out.